Hello and welcome everyone, Stormy Sensei here. Tonight we're going to be playing through some more triangle strategy, but I need to actually put the game case in. What is currently in here? I remember what I did, yeah. I took it out because I was planning on putting Animal Crossing in, but then I remembered that it's on the other Switch. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, today is actually the first day since Triangle Strategy's release that Triangle Strategy was not in the Switch case the entire time. But even still, I haven't put in a new game since. Like, it's just been Triangle Strategy in the as a game case that's in there the entire time. I was playing Monopoly with Demon, and we were supposed to be on the same team, but we screwed each other and lost badly. Well, Smash is, digital download, so is Pokemon Unite, and like all these other games for the most part. But like the last game that was a card in the game, or like a game card, was Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, but I haven't like done it since. So, good times. Oh boy, so excited for this. Chapter 15. Alright, when we last left off, we had conquered the S-Frosty army and taken back Whiteholm Castle and driven S-Frost out of Glenbrook. We did so by destroying the dam and flooding the city, so there's a lot of damage out there, and we gotta basically make the repairs or whatever. But we're done with our branching, and we're going to be back in a central location for one more chapter, I think, and then we decide again to split. Or actually, I think we split anyway. I'm pretty sure that we split here. Chapter 15, Part 1 and Part 2. Hello there, Puppy Knight.
After retaking Whiteholm Castle, Roland assumes the throne. Joy over the return of the line of Glenbrook sweeps the kingdom. Yet not everyone is quick to welcome Roland back with open arms. Life under S-Frosty rule treated them well, and they suspect him to be naught but a figurehead of a puppet regime. Roland's absence, it seems, made room for discord among his subjects to flourish.
Chapter 15, Part 1, Banner's Word.
There you are, Your Majesty.
Ah, Huette.
Pray, do not sound so dismal. Now that we have retaken Whiteholm Castle, you are Glenbrook's rightful king. We've an entire kingdom to rebuild out of the ruins of war. Patriot and the others have been demanding utmost haste.
I understand that, I do. But... oh, Cordelia. Damn the duchy. They tried to take everything from me. They have to pay.
I know you have suffered many hardships, but pray, do not let yourself succumb to despair. Me, our comrades, your people, all of us are eagerly awaiting the era of peace our new king will bring.
I mean, Roland already killed everyone that, for the most part, was responsible for everything. Just not Gustadolf. But he's not going to let go of it, and he's going to push even further.
King, eh? My father never once let his emotions overcome him. Not even the day my mother died. I had every intention of following his stoic example, but...
It never came even close.
Majesty, I bring word from the infirmary.
Is it Cordelia? Pray tell me she's all right.
She is indeed recovering apace, Your Majesty.
Oh, thank the stars.
It seems she has something to discuss with you all, if you will hear her out.
Of course. Tell her we'll speak in the garden, but only if it will not tax her over much.
Yes, sire.
Huette, fetch Serenoa and the rest. Tell them to come to the garden as soon as they are able.
'Twould be my pleasure.
What is it? You're smiling.
It's only... I thought it would be some time yet before I saw you look so at ease. I'll return shortly with the others.
Cordelia, you've returned to me after so long. But slow and steady is the path to recovery. Yes, there is no rush. So that is what happened in my absence.
Yes. Gustadolf was a clever ruler. After the invasion, Patriot and his royalists cozied up to Espros in order to protect themselves. Gustadolf used them to his every advantage. He stripped them of their privileges and left them nothing but their governing responsibilities. I don't think Patriot much cared for that, but it did ensure everything continued smoothly, without interrupting the people's lives.
So the royalists didn't
Now
like it,
I
but the
understand
people
why
liked
there
it.
was little unrest after the occupation began.
A clean, effective takeover by a well-seasoned commander.
But all the while, he was preparing to face the next conflict.
Wait, does he intend to march on Hyzant next?
He does.
I believe so. I wish I could be more specific.
Well, you learned about
But the
deaths
goddess's
now.
shield cannot protect the Holy State's capital from Esfrost. Not anymore. He said it will all be over once the death snell is ready.
What is this death snell?
A new weapon born from the coupling of his frosty ironworking and explosive projectiles. Thalos claimed it is powerful enough to break through the goddess's shield.
To think Esfrost is capable of creating such a monstrosity.
So much for their reign of peace. Taking over Glenbrook was only the first move in a bigger gambit to seize the source.
I am disturbed to learn of Gustadolf's plan. But rebuilding our capital must take priority.
Very well. We should investigate the extent of the damage and discuss how best to proceed from there. House Wolfort will lend whatever aid you need.
Thank you, Serenoa. But since you are one of their Saintly Seven now, I'd ask you to keep an eye on Hyzant as well.
Cordelia? Apologies. A brief spell of dizziness.
I have been looking everywhere for you, Your Highness.
Patriot.
I do not recall giving you leave of the infirmary. Your injuries are still healing. Would you undo all the trouble I went through to get you the best of care? Pray, return to the infirmary at once.
It wouldn't do to push yourself, Cordelia.
Hey there, Utopia.
Rest now. Leave everything to me.
All right.
We got a pretty good understanding of the damage in the capital, my lord. It's a tad more than we were expecting.
I mean, you were expecting less than this?
I see. Then we must make haste with repairs. Let's report this to Hyzant and see what aid they can give us. Was there anything of note besides damage?
There ain't an easy way of putting this, but not everyone's exactly pleased to hear Prince Roland's returned. Esfrost exempted Glenbrook's subjects from the salt tax. Likely a bid to get in everyone's good graces. And a damn good one at that. But more than that, the so-called freedom Gustadolf brought to the kingdom seems to have made a splash. He threw out the old ways and made it so anyone could better their lot in life depending on their ability, instead of their birthright.
Just as in Esfrost.
Then the people must have looked quite favorably upon Gustadolf's rule.
I wager folks ain't too pleased to see us, since they figure it means things will go back to how they used to be.
Roland surmised as much. We must do something to show the people his is a return worth celebrating.
Anna, have you looked into the state of affairs in the castle?
Yes. The head of the Royalists, Minister Patriat, is extending his influence. He made quite the name for himself, even under Gustadolf. Though he seems eager enough to support King Roland, he was just as eager to serve the Archduke. I do not believe we can trust him.
Of course you can't trust him.
Distinguished members of House Wolford, how hard you are all working to rebuild our capital.
We also know, even though in the main story the characters don't know this, but since we recruited Yulio, we know that also Minister Patriat was also was taking money from the Norzelian consortium. He was taking bribes, basically. And so he's like not. I mean, he's kind of evil. He's pretty evil because he was actually about to kill Yulio for trying to expose him. So he's not a great guy. We know this, even though because it's a optional character, the main character doesn't necessarily know this.
What a delightful thing to see.
Minister, you do us a great honor visiting us out of all the many other responsibilities that must vie for your attention.
Oh, come now, do not think yourself so insignificant. The entire kingdom owes you its thanks, myself included, of course. We are so grateful for House Wolford's aid, even though you now serve a different master.
We are only doing what any of King Roland's loyal vassals would.
Speaking of the king, I'm afraid we've a bit of a problem. His Majesty seems to be entertaining thoughts of retaliating against Esfrost. But the people have had their fill of war, and I'm sure you're already aware the people look upon the royal line with disfavor. I only beg you take every care going forward.
A thinly veiled warning.
A warning?
Even so, there is naught we can do but focus on rebuilding.
Indeed. Let us return to the king and apprise him of our progress.
I would walk the city with Sheila a bit longer and speak with the people.
As you wish. But this is not the capital you knew. Be careful, my love.
Oh wow, that's a lot of character stories. 16 character stories. Ooh. First things first. What is this magic? Well, let me see the encampment, because I want to see whether there's more that I can get as well. Looks like someone's ready for a class promotion. The Dawn Spear. I thought so. So you need 750 morality and 1,050 liberty, and to be in chapter 15 in order to get this. When I was watching Sari, he actually got this on his first playthrough, which is crazy to me. Because I think that the 3 difficult characters to get are Groma, Flanagan, and the Dawn Spear. Within the woods, the man bids farewell to his Rosellan companions. In his hand, he clutches this familiar spear. So I guess most of this playthrough is just going to be me going over these stories.
Must you go, sir?
I regret to say I must. I have been idle for long enough. But know this. I shall forever be indebted to the Roselle. I know not why fate delivered my battered body to the shores of your village. But I am fortunate that it did. I owe my life to your kindness. Thank you.
You'll have no debt with us. We only did what was right. But where will you go? Safety is a luxury few are afforded these days.
The war rages still, and so long as it does, I must fight with every inch of my being to end it.
A single man can't fix this tangled mess of a world.
Ah, but I am not alone. Every moment my allies risk life and limb without me is a moment I owe them for their bravery. I must rejoin them at once.
I see there's no convincing you otherwise. Very well. But we expect to hear news of your victory soon.
I sense the world is on the cusp of great change. Change for the better. When it comes, let us celebrate its arrival together. Well met, friends. I require passage to see Lord Serenoa.
And who are you? If you want an audience, you'll have to wait behind the rest.
What a fool.
Wait. That cape, it can't be.
You're Sir Maxwell. My lord, Sir Maxwell has returned.
My apologies for my abrupt departure, my lord. Full glad am I to see you have managed without me.
Maxwell Trier. After suffering a spell of amnesia, he remembered his mission and joined House Wolfort. He now fights to put an end to the realm's senseless bloodshed.
Sir Maxwell, you're alive.
Aye, and none the worse for wear, I hope. It seems fate would have me take up my spear once more.
Where have you been? We all feared the worst.
Avlora's fell blow cast me into the river, and its cold embrace washed away my memories, along with my pride. I awoke in a village of kind-hearted folk. I might have stayed there, blissful in ignorance, had news of your exploits not reached them. It was then that old memories stirred, prideful memories, painful memories. My purpose became clear. I must end this war or perish in the attempt. I hope that I have not come too late to make a difference.
Of course not. We would be honored to have you fight by our side. I only hope you can say the same for us, Dawnspear.
Maxwell, join your forces. Why do we get a good guy when we are evil? Well, he's not necessarily good. Roland's instructor and the finest lancer in all Glenbrook, specializes in mid-range attacks, Possesses multiple powerful abilities. Because if we go back, we're going to go to the encampment for a little bit and just show them off and whatnot. Look at the roster and things like that. So he's not 100% good, right? Like he has, like we needed 750 morality in order to get him, but we needed 1,045 liberty. Liberty, if you remember, is actually the guiding conviction of Esfrost compared to the utility from Hyzant and the morality of Glenbrook. So like, he's not, you know, strictly a good guy. He's loyal and he's good at what he does. But if it's kind of like, think about Avlora, right? If Avlora worked for King Regna, we would call her a good guy. Just like if Sir Maxwell had worked for Gustadolf, we'd call him a bad guy. So let's take a look here. .45 strength, which is not really all that strong. You gotta compare him to Roland, really. 53 strength compared to 45 strength. Physical defense, a little weaker as well. Magic attack doesn't matter. Magic defense, a little weaker. Luck, really terrible luck. Slightly better accuracy, slightly worse speed, worse evasion, same jump, way less movement. So why would we use Sir Maxwell when we could be using Roland here? Let's see what his skills are. Alright, so Roland has had the benefit of having 1 extra point of physical defense up and 3 extra luck, so that's not the reason. It's not like the skill investment that makes him better. Oh boy. Well, I could get +3 speed, so that would make him way better than Roland in that front. For some reason, he's got good magic defense. I don't really know why. Oh, I actually do know one reason why he actually is a little bit better than why he's a little bit better than Roland. And that's his one ability. When Maxwell gets his final upgrade, for one thing, it's not quite a fair comparison actually, because Roland actually is at his max upgrade and Maxwell isn't. So I would need to compare Maxwell's final form with Roland's final form, and you actually do see that he actually has equal strength now with a little bit more physical defense. Same magic attack, a little bit more magic defense. Still terrible luck, way better accuracy, and slightly better evasion. But also, he gets this ability, Revive, Grants you the ability to recover 1 time after falling in battle. So he can, like, you know, fight a lot more aggressively. He also has a couple of things going for him. Chance to counterattack, that's good. He's also got 2 birds, 1 stone, where he gains 1 TP when attacking 2 enemies with 1 spear. So if you use something like Run Through, which costs 3 TP, you can actually get, it actually costs 2. Because you gain 1 afterwards if you hit 2 people with it. Or you can just attack 2 people normally and get the TP that you need. So I think I will upgrade Maxwell because, you know, I think he's going to be more useful than any of the other characters that I don't currently have. But I should have talked to him first before I did that.
Hard effort grants a boon.
Hopefully that doesn't mess up with his dialogue trees. Where is Maxwell? There he is, hanging out in the corner. Lord Serenoa. After my battle with General Avlora, I fell into the river. I was content then, knowing Prince Roland was safe. But after returning from the brink of death, I realized that I had been given a second chance. And I wish to use that chance to bring a swift end to all this bloodshed. Alright, so that's just the join the party for the first time dialogue. And then he should give me the, hey, I'm now the Dawn Spear again message. Or the Divine Spear. There seems to be those calling me the Divine Spear these days. I must admit, I feel better than ever now, both in mind and body. I am sure I can be of even more use to you now, my lord. I am more than willing to lead the vanguard, should you ask me. And then now we're going to try to get his 3 generic messages. Lord Wolford, your skills have shown, the skills you showed at the tournament pale in comparison to the prowess you now exhibit. I owe a debt of gratitude to the family that saved me, and I fully intend to repay it someday. General Avlora is more than worthy of her repute. There must be a reason why she has driven herself to such height. Yeah, and then he's just going to repeat those same 3 messages over and over. Alright, who's going to get our other Medal of Valor? We're only down to 3 characters now. I feel like it has to be Narv. Wow, really? You already have your final ability? That's so sad that you got your final ability at 29 already. How many are called the Divine something? Let's see. Divine Fist, Divine Bow, Divine Spear. It's not as not as many people as the Masters. So there are 3 of those, right? But then this is a Spirit Master, and we also get the Craft Master, Master Advisor, Ice Master, Bow Master, Master Guardian, Master Flyer, Master Assassin, Master Curist, Fire Master, Master Strategist, Master Cavalryman, and Sword Master. It's okay, you'll get around to Tokyo Mirage Session one day. One day. The only reason why I want to give this to Narv is because extending your reach seems to be the most useful ability here. I happen to know what Endless Speech does. I have it on my off-stream account. It's like, it's a good ability, but it's not really worth 3 TP. And Switch Places is just terrible. Like, you're spending 2 turns and 5 TP just to swap with your decoy. It's so unnecessary. Like, if it were a free ability, or maybe if it cost 1 TP, sure. But no. And Lady Luck is just awful. Chance to obtain a bonus recovery pellet. Oh, we get to spell master, so here's another master here.
I'm stronger than I thought.
And Narv should be over here. Yep, here he is. Lately, it feels like changing my way of thinking about my grandfather's magic has changed me. Some of the soldiers have started calling me Spellmaster on the field. It's a little embarrassing, to be honest. But I can tell I'm stronger, and it's all thanks to you, Lord Sir Noah. There's a million things I have left to learn, but it all starts with a single step. I won't let you down. We got a new mental mock battle. An ally in need. We get superior stuff from this. That's farm rule. In the midst of this battle of attrition, your foe will pierce your defense and aim for Frederica whenever the opportunity presents itself. You must walk the razor's edge between defense and offense to emerge victorious. I mean, they can try. I don't see how they're going to get to Frederica. And actually, looking at the map, I can see some things that make that task impossible for them to do. If they're on this map, then I know for sure that I can light wave her onto the rooftops, and then she actually will be completely out of harm's way. Because that's the same map as this one, No Soldier Left Behind. And I think there's one more. Yeah, actually this one as well, Last Man Standing. Okay, if Frederica's AI controlled, then that's more annoying, but I would still light wave her away, so that, and then I would just make it so that she can't get back down. I should really work on some of these. Like, I'm a whole 14 levels ahead of some of these things. But I want to also do the story missions. Not the story missions, I want to do the side stories. There's so much character development to be had here. We have 15 character plot points to go through. Some are so old, like, we still got stuff for, we got stuff for Medina. We used Medina like literally one time. We used Picoletta's like level 29, the lowest level in the team. Alright, let's do some character development stuff. First off, here's Benedict. Benedict and Eridor uphold a custom they have shared for 30 years.
All right, lads and lasses, lay down your arms. Let your bruises remind you of the lessons learned today.
Ah, what fortuitous timing. I still owe you for the drinks from the other evening. I wondered if I might treat you tonight.
Apologies, lass, but I've got places to be.
Reminder that
Perhaps
this
another
is actually
time.
Benedict's personal story. Jules like turning down.
Troubled by something. Perhaps I'm
Drinks?
overthinking it.
Eridor? Something must be wrong.
Let us end our day's work here.
It is early, is it not? Is something amiss?
No, nothing at all. Just my attention is required elsewhere for a time.
Elsewhere? Curious.
Gonna have the spy do some spying.
How many have you had?
Not enough. Just one for you, I take it.
Yes.
Went by in a flash. Can you believe it's been 30 years?
Alright, so this is pretty interesting because in Eredor's character story, we learned that they actually don't like drinking together. So I'm curious as to why they are now going to be doing this together. Hey, Demon.
The time has escaped us. The memory of that day, however, I doubt ever will.
What happened 30 years ago? Let's see it. Oh, we get to see young Eredor and young Benedict now.
Thrice damned, can't move.
He is a soldier in the Saltarian War fighting under Simon's command.
Always thought I'd meet my end with a beautiful lass by my side.
You have many days ahead of you yet, Eredor. We will see you returned home.
A young Benedict, a soldier of the Saltarian War fighting under Simon's command.
Don't try to run, you curs!
There's no way he gets out of this.
Leave me be. I'll just slow you down.
He's gonna take
It was my cursed pride that got us into this.
6 of them at once.
Only I should suffer for it.
And
we don't all
injured.
need to die today. Run!
Even in the face of death, you refuse to set aside your foolish pride. I followed you into this hell of my own will, and I will see you delivered from it.
You fool!
Charge! Come and die. Yeah!
I can't believe they actually made it 30 years later after that day. That's almost as impressive as Archibald's feat.
That would have been it for us, had Lord Simon not met their charge in time.
Aye, and the only punishment for my pride were these aches that keep me awake at night.
We hungered for glory all those years ago, without a care for how it would serve us later on.
A couple of would-be heroes who couldn't be convinced they weren't invincible.
Yet here we are, drinking, to celebrate the end of that war. I do not wish to reminisce upon the past. A toast that I may never again repeat the mistakes of my youth. But before that...
Yeah?
You have served House Wolfort well, Eredor. That said, I've a feeling we'll need your sturdy shield even more going forward.
I can agree to that.
You need me to lead a charge? I'm your man. I'll leave anything fancier than that to you. For House Wolfort!
For House Wolfort.
I love how they're complete opposites, but they like are tethered to one another. That was a good one. Alright, Roland. Roland harbors doubts about his station, but Cyrano reminds him that he is noble in his own way.
Roland, what are you doing out here?
There's hardly a better place to become lost in one's thoughts. Don't you agree?
Roland is always brooding.
I suppose. However, if aught weighs on your mind, it may serve you better to turn to a friend.
Didn't he skip the May?
Then let me ask. Do you believe me too immature for my station?
Yes. Next question.
I suppose. However, if aught weighs on your mind, it may serve you better to turn to a friend.
No, it was just like a May. Like one swift word.
Not at all. Quite the opposite, in fact.
But the other nobles loved to gossip of my disinterest in politics and intrigue, and mocked my love of hawking.
You said it yourself. Gossip and sniping, nothing more. Pay no mind to nobles and their petty judgments. The people who matter, your subjects, hold you dearly in their hearts.
The fact that he cares so much about these nobles, like, disliking the things that he likes, already kind of tells me about his immaturity. Like, you know, you like what you like, and you're literally the king of the entire nation. Why do you care what the nobles think about your hobbies?
Stories abound of their love for you.
Hey, go peddle your junk somewhere else.
And why would I do that, my good sir? I see no reason to forego such a bustling avenue simply to please a stranger.
A stranger? You're posted in front of my damn shop. You're stealing my customers from right under my nose.
Oh, I am? I'm not sure your lack of customers could be blamed on me. Surely the proprietor bears some responsibility for...
What bickering is this?
None of your business, whelp. Now leave us to our negotiations.
Prince Roland, is that really you?
A prince, you say? Well,
A distinguished gentleman such as yourself must be mortified to have your customers bear witness to this childish bickering.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. My temper got the best of me.
And you, merchant. If you mean to trade in Glenbrook, I trust you have procured the proper licenses and approvals.
Well, the process takes some days, you see. Pardon, Your Highness.
Then your business shall have to wait some days, it seems. Shall I summon a member of the Kingsguard to explain the law in detail?
No, there'll be no need of that, Highness. I'll just be on my way.
Thank you, Prince Roland. Come visit any time, and I'll let you have your pick of my wares.
He's a king for the people.
Your place has always been with your people. You could walk down the main avenue and settle disputes with a single word.
Don't tell me you were watching. They were petty arguments, nothing more.
As petty as they might have been, you were happy to do it. What better proof of royalty is there than that?
But it wasn't because I was wise that I solved their problems. It was my name and status that let my words weight. How do you imagine a kingdom with not a single dissatisfied soul would look?
That's a difficult thing to imagine.
Indeed. I suppose the best one can hope for is to do what we can, while we can.
Well, we can start envisioning such a nation. That one day we might build it. Together.
I like the sound of that. No doubt the answers we seek lie ahead, so long as we stay honest with ourselves. And so long as we work together, you and I, Serenoa.
Oh, Anna. Alright, let's see. Anna searches for answers about her parents, and Eridor seems to know more than he lets on. Interesting.
Under this tree.
This here's the land of the Jax clan. Or used to be, more like. That clasp on your chest, that's their sigil, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, she's really good at being a spy.
It's a memento from my parents. Or so I was told.
It's this one here. Yeah, they're talking about.
Aye, now that I'm looking for it, I can see the resemblance. Same silvery hair and everything. Villages near here met with a pretty terrible fate. They begged the armies to spare their fields. The only one who listened was one of House Wolfort's bannermen. No one was surprised, big war hero that he was. But by the time we got here, the Jax had been all but exterminated. He was digging graves for the dead, enemy and all. A hero and a gentleman he was. Names on the tip of my tongue.
Benedict.
Aye, that was it. Do you know the man? I'd like you to pass on my gratitude, if you do.
So we think that she's from the Jax clan, so it should be Anna Jax instead of Anna Pascal. I think she took Benedict's last name. Villages near here met with a pretty terrible fate. They begged the armies to spare their fields. So during the Salt Iron War, they had armies from both Hyzant and Aesfrost fighting together. Wolfort technically wasn't a part of Glenbrook, they were independent at the time. This was after the war, because no one was surprised, big war hero that he was. Oh, but no, there wouldn't be an army to beg then. But I guess wars also kind of last a bit longer after they're officially over.
Thanks for showing me the way.
Your coin's all the thanks I require. If that's all you'll be needing me for, I'll leave you to it.
You make a poor stalker.
Ain't exactly what I'm built for.
You fought in the battle here, didn't you?
I like imagining that the, what's it called? Is just the clanking of his armor as he's trying to sneak up on the spy.
Benedict swore me to secrecy. But suppose it ain't break an oath if you already know. Oh, but first I ought to tell you. You've the right to the truth. And those ain't my words. They're his. That's why he never tried to stop you from finding out about your parents.
You know of their fate?
We drove the enemy up the clifftop. Cornered him there. The same instant we cut their leader down, A babe cried out in the distance. In the hideout, we found you, all swaddled up. A letter pinned to you with that same clasp on your chest.
Live strong, Anna. Stronger than any. I see now.
Your family died at our hands. If it's vengeance you want, you can take it out on me.
That doesn't sound like the Eredor I know. Do you think so little of me? To assume I would forsake my friend, bloody my hands with revenge. I know the truth at last. That is enough.
Is it, Anna? Or are you forcing it to be?
Don't be a fool. Benedict is the one who raised me. If I ever want for a father, I know where to find him. And when we've won this war, I shall make sure he understands that.
I hope that's not the end of Anna's character development. That was a very dour ending to her search for her parents. Discovering that Benedict and Eredor killed them during the war. I'm just catching up on chat real quickly. First the wine, now the drift bloom. It happens sometimes. Alright, let's do some more story stuff. While out training, Hewitt recalls a promise she made to Roland before the war began. This is the second story for Hewitt.
At it again, eh? You know, even the Dawn Spear set down his weapon on occasion.
For Hewitt, the
We're
grind
at
never
war.
stops.
I cannot hope to end it by being idle.
Spoken like a true member of the Kingsguard. You lot were always too serious for my tastes.
We were not serious enough.
Ooh.
Where is the king we were meant to protect now?
Oof.
What will become of his kingdom?
That joke did not land very well.
King Regna and Crown Prince Franny are no more. Only Roland and Cordelia remain. When I think of how lonely my charge must feel, I almost feel smothered by the guilt.
If he's lonely, he hides it well. Could be that losing his princely obligations has lifted a weight off his shoulders.
And who are you to speak on his feelings?
This obviously was... losing his princely... That line doesn't really make sense in chapter 15 because he's now king. So maybe we were supposed to be able to see this earlier than this. Maybe.
His father ever doted on Franny. He knew precious few moments of his mother's love before she passed. Even so, he tried his utmost to never show weakness in front of his sister. He was there for her in the worst of times. There was never a place near the throne for him. Truth be told, Sir Maxwell was more of a father to him than anyone. I'd like to think I have been more than his guard. Oftentimes, I felt like his confidant.
You and Flugy are constant companions.
As I said before, my prince, he is more than my companion. He is the truest friend I could ask for.
A true friend? I must admit, I envy your relationship.
My prince, I did not mean to.
'Tis nothing to apologize for. I simply find the idea of soaring the skies with a true friend to be somewhat romantic.
You could do the same with the proper training. If it pleases you, my prince, I would gladly teach you.
Just earlier, during Prince Roland's side character story, he talked about how the nobles disliked his hawking, so this is probably when he started learning.
You would? Then I gladly accept. I trust you will go easy on me.
I can promise no such thing. You must become as ferocious as a hawk yourself if you wish to ride one. War broke out soon after that. My promise to teach him is yet unfulfilled. So I will train. I will fight. Until the skies are no longer clouded by the fires of war. Only then can I rest. Only then can we fly free. Perhaps then, with the wind in our faces, we can forget our stations, our titles, if only just for one moment.
What was that last part? You'll have to speak up.
So apparently Hewitt actually does harbor slight romantic feelings for Roland.
Nothing. Nothing at all. Yes, it's back to training for me.
That was another good one. Alright, Corentin, who basically is now my mage carry, replacing Frederica. The research Corentin spoke of in his drunken stupor seems to be making progress, but...
What's so urgent you can't let a man sleep?
Also, Eridor was in like all of these. He was in Anna's, he was in Benedict's, he's in Corentin's, he was in Hewitt's. The only one he wasn't in was Roland's.
Nothing less than the completion of my groundbreaking research, Eridor.
Oh, well now, that is something.
Indeed it is. I've managed to thermodynamically stabilize the quasi-liquid film forming on the surface of the...
Yes, I've heard all that. Now tell it to me in words a man can understand.
Right. Well, in layman's terms, I have created ice that never melts.
Oh, he's created never melt ice.
Did you say ice that never melts? That's mighty impressive and all, but what actual good does that do anyone?
My dear, sweet, simple Eridor. We can use my creation to forge weapons with no need for iron.
Sounds useful, if it works as you say. But how's the durability?
Silly soldier. Do you take me for a fool? Of course I tested their durability. Worry not. A prototype shall arrive shortly. I bid you try it out for yourself. For better or worse, you're the most experienced soldier I know. And so I'd have you handle it first.
That sounds big and important. I reckon I'll take you up on it.
What news? Surely it's finished by now.
Afraid not. I come bearing unfortunate news from the smithy. It seemed plenty sturdy at first, but shattered the moment he took a hammer to it. He says it has a long way to go before it can be used in place of iron, I'm afraid.
Jens shattered
Preposterous! My calculations were impeccable. Surely I have not forsaken my homeland in pursuit of a fool's errand.
That's all a bit dramatic, isn't it? You can't have a breakthrough without breaking a couple of ice blades. You know what'd wash away all that pain? A nice cold glass of spirits. Spirits?
Yep.
That's it! That unmelting ice of yours could chill him forever, could it not? Groundbreaking indeed. This invention of yours could still take the world by storm.
And I reckon the army'd have use for it as well. It'd keep our rations from going off. Weapons be damned. You've done very important work.
The fact remains that my calculations were in error. So forgive me my reluctance to.
Less sulking, more drinking. You succeeded, haven't you? Right then, this'll be my treat, and I won't be turning in till you do.
Very well. Scientific breakthroughs never come easily, I suppose. Perhaps my next experiment shall be seeing how many rounds my everlasting ice can chill. Right then, to the encampment with us. 'Tis time for a drink or three.
That's the spirit. Just promise me I won't have to haul your drunken ass home this time.
I think that was the first side character that we've seen. Let's see who we've talked to before. So this was Hewitt. And before that we did Anna. Before that was Roland. Before that was Benedict. Alright, cool. Alright, let's see what Quentin has to say about his character development. There's Sarah, the smithy in your employ has accelerated the pace of my research. Behold, my latest creation. I call it Glacial Moon. So I actually apparently never talked to him after I got his ultimate attack, so this is that going on right now. This is but one of the many abilities with which I may be able to help you in victory, my lord. I shall keep you apprised of any further developments. Lord, my continued experience on the battlefield has proven invaluable in my research. In fact, I believe it has helped me to unlock my true power and potential in ice magic. I have thereby attained Ice Master status. I have been really slacking in my talking to people after I upgrade them. Alas, there is no end to scholarly pursuits. My work continues unabated. I can definitely say that my research would not have come this far if I were not in your service. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. One day I shall find the temperaments at which such a variety of wine tastes best. Each variety of wine tastes best. And my unmelting ice will help me do it. There should be one more in there. I'll do all I can to bring an end to this senseless bloodshed, for I believe the fruits of my research will be more useful in times of peace than war. And we don't have access to anyone else's things for now. Alright, Hasabara. Even the tavern, meant to be a place for people to forget their worries, sees its share of troubles. I mean, yeah, because I won't get into it, but yeah, I could see that.
Go on, have another glass.
And of course, Eridor's here again.
I'm offering top shelf drink for bottom shelf prices tonight. No need to fret over your coin purses.
See? This is why we keep coming back. Nobody treats us better than our Hasabara.
Quite the crowd tonight, eh? Good to see it.
All thanks to you for supplying me with that mead.
Thanks to my good fortune, you mean. I got it for so cheap on account of the batch not measuring quite up to the brewer's usual standards.
Still, look at how happy it's made them. There's nothing I love more than seeing my tavern full to bursting like this. Thank you, Eridor. Truly.
It's nothing, honest.
Ah, and just like that, they've nearly drank me dry. Might have to close up early tonight.
Celebrating something, Hasabara. Whatever it is, we'll drink to that. Pour us around.
I wish I could. Seems the barrels have run dry tonight. But if you'll come back on the morrow...
Run dry? You've enough for these drunkards? You can't spare a drop for those of us who are risking our lives for you on the battlefield? Oh. Hey, who you calling a drunkard?
Don't you fools go spoiling the one spot of happiness we've had in a long while.
Enough! My tavern's a place for forgetting troubles, not stirring them up. You do well not to look down your noses at the very people you've sworn an oath to protect. You want respect? Go out there and earn it by ending the war. Then there'll be drink aplenty to go around.
You tell them, Hasabara. They're no better than us.
You lot aren't blameless either, you know. These soldiers do put their lives on the line to protect yours. They get enough grief on the battlefield without you giving it to them off it.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
No, I shouldn't have let my temper flare.
Look, there's still some drink left here. How's about you raise a glass together?
Yeah. You can have some of ours, too.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Level head you've got on your shoulders there, Hasabara.
It helped that you pitched in when you did.
Ah, now that hits the spot.
Doesn't it? Here, I'll pour you another.
See? Now this is what I live for. Giving people a place they can come together and leave the worries of the world behind for a while. Somehow, I know this is what Theo would have wanted me to do.
Oh, yeah, her husband.
If only I could raise a glass with him.
Aye, I reckon he'd be proud. You've made a spot of sunshine for people who don't get much of it these days. People like me.
What with business booming again, it looks like I'm going to have my hands full for a while. Don't you worry for your mama, Theo. As long as there's ale to be poured and smiles on her customers' faces, she'll be just fine.
I'm gonna have to rewatch my earlier videos to see what her, tragic backstory was. Brawling is strictly forbidden in my tavern. Anyone breaks that rule, they get tossed out into the cold. I don't care who they are. I don't know what I'll do if Eridor goes and dies on me. After all, where would I find a customer as good as him? Yeah. Come on, give me the third one. You know, I just remembered, my son's birthday is coming up. I should pay a visit to his grave once things settle down. I just pressed the ZR button because in Star Ocean, that's the speed up your running speed button. I should not have done that because it zooms out in this game. Lionel uses the Wolfort name to sell his dubious goods, but will he get away with it? Not if Anna has something to say about it. You know, we haven't seen Frederica at all in any of these character stories yet.
You! Just what was in that swill you sold me?
Ah, my good sir. Don't you look to be in a fit of pique? But what does it have to do with Lionel?
This is the same guy that he sold the youth formula potion to earlier.
Don't play coy with me! That was no secret elixir you sold me.
Consortium saltmonger.
An elderly nobleman bought the entire batch, and all he got for his troubles was a whole day atop his chamber pot.
Ah, perhaps the tonic's invigorating effects were too potent for a man of such venerable age. While Lionel is sure his digestive system has been duly cleansed, methinks a smaller dosage should suffice next time.
Digestive system? Dosage? You said that medicine granted eternal life.
Lionel recalls saying nothing of the sort. We did converse about rumors of such an elixir existing prior to the transaction, but that was all. If you harbor any doubts, pray consult the bill of sale. Rest assured that any misunderstanding stems from your own negligence.
For all the good it'll do me now, I might as well wipe my ass with it.
My friend, the merchant's seal is his word. Consider this a lesson to read the fine print more carefully in the future.
You two-faced charlatan! You'll pay for this!
Two-faced? Has your own coin purse not grown mysteriously fat, despite the heavy taxes on salt?
So for one thing, it worries me a little bit that we keep on buying all of our healing potions from Lionel, especially given that we used like 50 of them we didn't use 50 of them. How many did we use? We were level 22 when we gained, so we used like almost 30 of those healing potions in the last battle that we were in. So yeah, that's a little awkward that he's selling cheap stuff to people. But with this line, it seems like maybe he's selling it to bad people because they're bad. So let's see, let's hear Lionel out and give him the benefit of the doubt and say, you know, maybe he's not completely a bad guy.
I dare say more so than market prices would conceivably allow. One wonders, what is the punishment in Hyzant for those who do business outside the purview of the state?
You can't threaten me! I'll gut you like a fish!
Oh!
Seems you needed protection after all.
Shut up! Lionel had the matter well under control. Did you kill him?
He's just unconscious. Killing him would only attract unwanted attention.
Nevertheless, he gave Lionel quite a fright. That knock on his head couldn't have been good for the fool's health.
The only fool here is you. Using the name of House Wolfort to swindle others? How long did you think this charade would last? I'll give you one chance to stop, or else you'll end up next to him in the dirt.
Lionel will have you know he has friends in high places. Yes, very high places.
I mean, Anna's is the ward of like Serenoa Wolfort, Saintly Seven member, House King, Lord of House Wolfort. It doesn't really get much higher than that. in all of Norzelia.
So high, in fact, that yes, Lionel now sees the error of his ways. His thinking so far has been positively unambitious. It is Lionel who holds the purse strings of House Walfort, and it is he who must see to it that said purse is overflowing with riches. He has been a fool. Only a fool would squander his talents with such petty deceits. But Lionel does not lose heart easily. No, he shall redouble his efforts. For such is his burden, the burden of a loyal servant tasked with guiding his house to boundless fortune. Ha ha! Let us begin our new work post-haste.
That took a turn for the unexpected. What am I supposed to do with him? Knock him senseless and drag him back to the castle? It may come to that.
Now, if I were better, I would listen to all of these, and then go to the encampment once. But there's absolutely no way I'm going to remember all, like... Let's see, we're listening to 3 so far, and we have 8 more. There's no way I'm going to remember 11 different characters that we need to talk to. Once the war is over, you'll be needing coin for reconstruction. That will be Lionel's time to shine. You can leave all the matters of money to me, or to him, because he speaks in third person. Lionel has extended his selections of items just for you. He hopes you find them most satisfactory. Ooh, nice. Kind of bought all those without actually knowing what I need to get next. Like, I think I got Lion Shield, right? No, I actually haven't gotten Lion Shield yet. I should have saved that because I need 3 iron and 3 stone. From the timber and meat of the mountains to the leather goods and harbor of the transport, there are countless opportunities for business in Wolfort. So I needed stone and iron, and I got the things I didn't need. Ah well. This next battle will give me enough money to get more stuff. I'm slowly working towards it. Now there's still one more thing to listen to for what's this called? There we go. Lionel has incurred a debt with Anna, one he intends to pay. After all, one cannot put a price on life. That's funny. So he's like, Anna, I now owe Anna my life. I guess we could do 3, right? I can also use the chat to kind of help me out here. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Zana, Quahog, and Groma. Hewitt brings Izana to the woods to show her something. What could it be? Hopefully her husband. Or her boyfriend. Fiance? I think it's fiance.
Tell me, why did you bring me all the way out here?
Was something unclear in my explanation?
Well, truth be told, I was clutching to the hawk for dear life. I could not make out a single word of what you said.
Well, then perhaps it's best to simply show you.
What? Who? Oh, it can't be.
Izana, my love.
It is actually Izana's fiance.
I'm overjoyed to see you unharmed.
Nice.
You're alive. Where have you been? I looked for you. I looked.
I caused you worry, and for that I am truly sorry. I went to meet you, but on the way realized that you were being followed by Hyzant's watchdogs. I threw myself at them to serve as a distraction. You managed to escape, I see, so my efforts were not in vain.
You fool. You should not have worried about me. What did they... What's wrong? Are you wounded?
The goddess of Salt has scant mercy for those who have renounced her. The marks her scorn left remind me of their presence on cold nights like this. The night I escaped, I fled to my home. However, I returned to naught but ashes. So I fled further, deep into the mountains. There I found refuge with a kindly old woman, where I've lived ever since. Until now, that is.
You asked me for my assistance, and I am as good as my word. I hope my efforts did not disappoint. I expect you two have much to talk about. I shan't disturb you any longer.
Leave it to Hewitt to just, like, literally give her exactly what she wanted.
Mistress Hewitt here explained to me how you've come to be in their service. I would give anything to aid you in your fight, but...
Say no more. Do not worry, my love. Leave everything to me. I shall bring this war to an end, so that no more innocent sacrifices are made upon the altar of faith. But for now, let me spend this night by your side.
Groma wanders the land alone, seeking to atone for her sins. And we're helping Hyzant even hearing that? Yeah, we are.
You there! This is no place for strangers. Be gone from here.
So, the rumors were true. There are Roselle here.
From Hyzant, are you? I'll be damned if I go back to your stinking salt pit.
So the reason why she is atoning for her sins is because she was a general in the war, and she basically had to lay waste to a stronghold where the enemy was camped. But what she didn't know was that underneath that stronghold, they were keeping Rosellian prisoners or something like that. So after, in all the rubble, she discovered that, like, she had killed a whole bunch of Roselles that were completely innocent and had nothing to do with the war. So after the war was over, maybe at that point she quit. I don't really know how it all worked out. But basically she decided that, you know, she needed to atone for that. And so that's what her first story was about. And I guess this is now the resolution to that.
It's been 30 years. We want only to live in peace.
30 years. Were you at the Citadel of the Sands during the war, perchance?
I was. How did you know?
The Citadel of the Sands, by the way, is Minister Sorslay's citadel.
I was but a child at the time. We had fled from servitude, but the army quickly tracked us down. We were forced to.
So some did survive. Please, Forgive me.
What got into you all of a sudden?
Long ago, I served as General of Esfrost. It was I who razed the Citadel to the ground and burned your countrymen alive. Words of apology will not even begin to atone for my deeds. Yet I give them anyway. I am sorry.
Knowing the danger, you came all the way out here to say that?
I had to know if any of you lived.
Raise your head. It is true that I lost my father when we fled servitude at the source. My people still bear the wounds from that war. Wounds that may never heal. But not one of us perished in the flames that day.
Wait, what? Not one of them?
What did you say?
It is true that we were being kept prisoner in the Citadel jails that day. But we were set free before the fire spread. To this day, I can scarce believe it. But the commander himself personally gave the order, and worked together with our leader to see that we were ushered to safety.
A general of Hyzant freed you? But why?
Oh, I think I know who it was.
To this day, I still remember his words. A person's life isn't worth more or less just because of the conditions of their birth. Who is to say what was in his heart? All I know is that it is by his mercy that we are alive today. Many of my people live together in villages. Others, like my family and I, have chosen to live on our own.
None of you died at the Citadel that day.
I can't believe that none of them died.
That can't be possible.
But it is. And I'm living proof.
I dared not dream. Oh, thank heavens.
There's no need for tears.
To think there was such a compassionate soul in Hyzant's ranks. If this man still lives, I would express my gratitude to him in person.
As would I. Sadly, I do not even remember his name.
Definitely feel that it's Archibald.
At any rate, I feel as if a great burden has been lifted. And yet my true battle has only begun. And I will not rest until this world is one where people need no longer suffer the horrors of war.
A bit idealistic, no? I reckon that only bloodier days are ahead.
I know this better than anyone, boy. And yet I mustn't give up hope. At long last, my conscience is clear, and I fight with newfound purpose for the hope of a brighter future.
Anna searches for the letter left by Quahog's mother. I still believe that Quahog's mother is Layla, just based on the voice actress and the one line that we heard in the first message.
Quahog? Anna, I had a vision. I saw that you were investigating my past.
Nothing gets by you, it seems. I've been looking into the man your mother spoke to. I thought it would give us a clue to her identity.
Did you find anything?
I wished to ask him about the exchange myself, but it appears he went into hiding right after that. I did find a letter addressed to you in an abandoned house. I think your mother gave it to him.
My dearest Quahog,
This is so Layla.
I would love nothing more than to see you again before this letter comes into your hands. No doubt this has been a difficult time for you, and I apologize for not explaining myself before I left. I did this to protect you from Idor. I could not bear to see him use you in his foul schemes.
Oh, could you imagine if Idor had access to Quahog? That'd be so awful. He would already rule this whole continent at that point.
My beloved son, how I wish to see you again. But I cannot. Not yet. I swear I will return for you someday. Promise me that you will be a good boy until then.
I don't quite understand, but it sounds like she misses me.
Indeed it does.
Then that means she didn't abandon me out of hate. I was so scared. I thought she'd never come and I'd be alone forever.
You have nothing to be afraid of, Quahog.
Anna, I hope I can see my mother again someday.
And you will.
Really?
Once this war is over, your mother will have heard of your deeds and will come for you. You can ask her all about the circumstances then. You can tell her how upset you were. Have hope, Quahog. Believe in your heart that day will come.
I will. And when I finally see Mother...
Like all this, I can't wait until you meet your mother again. Like, I'm just thinking about chapter 17 in our first playthrough. And like the fact that the only time he's going to see his mother is when he kills her is like so awful.
I'm going to hug her just like this and never ever let go.
Such dramatic irony. I wonder if we can like actually save Layla and have her like become a good guy. If we like manage to, you know, have the right characters in the team or something like that. I'm not crying, you're crying. I mean, it's a heartfelt moment. Nothing wrong with feeling emotions. And I found my mother's letter. I always thought that my mother hated me, but once this war was over, I want to go find my mother. I didn't see it in a vision, but I won't let that stop me. The reason why you don't see you meeting your mother in a vision, oh no. I had a vision the other day. I saw a lot of people congratulating you, Sir Noah. I'm sure this means something good is going to happen. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what that is. A vision of. Because if you go through Frederica's route, then you just die. So it's not that for sure. What are the other two? It's Zana and Groma. My prayers have been answered, Lord Serenoa. The heavens have granted me new power. Oh, I didn't do Rite of Thunderstorms. Alright. I shall use the Rite of Thunderstorms to smite away anyone who stands in my way. My power is yours until the day even the heavens sing your praises. My prayers have been answered, Lord Serenoa. The heavens have granted me new power. From now on, please call me a Spirit Master. May the heavens continue to bless the path House Wolford stands and walks upon. Alright, now on to the actual new character development lines. I do not know if I can ever forgive Hyzan for what they've done, but right now I must focus on bringing peace to the realm, so no one else can suffer the way I have. My lord, would you perchance know what Hewitt fancies? I should like to prepare a gift for her. That'd be nice. My love lives, and waits for the day in which we can be together in peace. His presence alone brings me greater power than I have ever felt before. That's nice as well. Once this war ends, I think I might open up my own tea shop, and it is time to give these old bones a rest. I have finally been freed of my guilt from 30 years past. Now all I have left to do is end this war with my own two hands. Oh ho ho. A person's life isn't worth more or less because of the conditions of their birth. I only wish I knew who said these words. I wonder who it could be. Oh, new wares in stock? What? Why? I'll take it. You said you had new wares in stock, but you don't. He lied to me. Yep, nothing there. Alright. And do I have everyone else? So Zana, Quahog, Groma. Yeah, we talked to all three of them. Alright. Yulio, Flanagan, Narv. Yulio. Picoletta. And what's her name? The terrible one. Oh, it's slipping my mind right now. Medina. First off, Yulio. Yulio speaks to Serenoa about having a noble imprisoned without the Lord's permission. So yeah, in the previous character story, there was a noblewoman that was stealing goods from the villagers, and Yulio had her arrested on the spot.
Lord Serenoa, may I speak with you?
About that noblewoman, yes? Eridor's told me what happened.
Forgive me. I know that I should have waited for your orders before acting. But I could not leave that woman to her devices. The longer the war goes on, the more the people suffer. I imagine their feelings toward their rulers must be souring. In spite of this, that woman tried to use your name to wrest their food away. Had we let her go free, people would have thought she was acting on your orders, and their mistrust of you would have only grown. I believed we had to show them that soldiers stand for justice, and acted. I accept whatever punishment you deem fit.
I don't think he's gonna punish him at all. That's very reasonable.
There will be no punishment, for you have committed no wrong.
My lord.
Anna looked into her. It seems that woman's ill repute dates back to her days in Glenbrook. Likely, she thought to obfuscate her misdeeds in the Crown City by hiding within my troops. But she wasn't able to conceal her true self in the end. I suppose she thought to earn my favor with the stolen food. Unfortunately for her, she misjudged my principles.
Lord Serenoa.
Forgive me for my oversight in this matter. I shall take all necessary precautions to ensure nothing like it happens again.
So, you aren't upset with me for throwing a noblewoman in jail?
I know.
Had I been in your position, I would have done the very same. For her misdeeds in Glenbrook and the crime you caught her committing, I shall order her banished at once. She will never again be welcome in the Wolfort domain. Let it serve as a deterrent to any others who would prey upon the common people. It is rare that I meet someone so committed to holding those of high birth accountable for their actions. I hope you will continue to do so. House Wolfort must be a house the people can trust.
Of course, my lord. You have my word. I knew I made the right choice. Unlike Patriot, Lord Serenoa is a man worth serving. Yes, I finally found where I am meant to be. I cannot rest on my laurels. Yes, I must serve my new lord as best I can.
Short and sweet. That was a good one, though. Flanagan. Though he has thrown away his bloodied epitaph, or his loathed epitaph, he will not stop others from addressing him as such. It will not stop others from addressing him as such. Text is so tiny.
The hour has grown quite late.
Finally, the two Hawk Riders together.
That was my first scouting excursion in many months. I'd forgotten how long they can take.
'Tis not often I get the chance to soar over distant lands such as these. Sir Flanagan, over there!
If it's coin you want, it's yours, all of it. Please, just spare our lives.
We'll be taking the coin. But I'm afraid nobody would see my face can go on living.
Please, please have mercy.
It's just.
I shall be your shield, my love. Run while you can.
They need us. Quickly!
I'm with you.
Let them go!
In an actual fight, Flanagan and Huette together would completely body these thieves. They actually would stand no chance. Flanagan is super tanky, and all of them are melee. They don't have any archers in their group, which is their only weakness. So he would just like taunt them all, and then be Huette's shield while she just like uses sight set and kills all of them.
What's this now? It's someone calling the army? Wait. I'd recognize that grubby shield anywhere. You're Sir Flanagan. You're but a lowly coward would turn tail from the duchy. But I bet your shield would fetch good coin at auction.
You really think you're going to fight the
And
bloody
you shall
shield?
have it. On the condition you do not lay a finger on these two.
Or better yet, I'll take your shield, your money, and your lives.
These brigands
Kill
are
the lot of
very
them.
foolish. Okay, they actually all had arrows, archers, but it didn't matter.
How'd that coward best us?
Oh, thank you, good sir. Thank you. We are forever in your debt.
I was only doing my duty. Are you hurt?
No. The three of us couldn't be better, sir. All thanks to you.
Oh, the three of us.
Three?
She's with child, my lord.
Then I am relieved thrice over.
Pray, tell us your name. I would name the child after you, should it be a boy.
This is hardly a deed worthy of...
I didn't realize that Flanagan was his first name. I thought that we were calling him by his last name. Flanagan Group.
The man before you is Flanagan, an honorable soldier. Perhaps too much so for his own good.
Flanagan. A fine name indeed.
We thank you from the bottom of our hearts, Sir Flanagan. You truly are the People's Shield.
Oh, the People's Shield.
The People's Shield.
Interesting. That's a good name.
I dare say it's a fitting epithet.
I am hardly worthy of such a lofty title.
No, I like that one.
If only that were your choice to make. You didn't start calling yourself the Bloody Shield after all. Am I wrong, Sir Flanagan? Or should I say, the People's Shield?
Then I suppose I must endeavor to live up to it. For my sake, and for that of the one who may bear my name.
That is an awesome name. I'm gonna start using Flanagan more often. But I don't really use him just because I usually don't need 2 tanks when 1 is enough. But he is actually pretty good. Eridor does find himself like nearly dying several times in battle, and having 2 tanks would make that less likely to happen. Alright, Narv heals an injured child with his grandfather's magic. We
Damn
never
it all.
found a wind magic.
At this rate, I'll never come close to carrying on Grandfather's legacy.
Like or I guess technically we also didn't ever find a lightning mage. Azana's kind of close to being a lightning mage, but she's like just lightning and wind. But we have like someone that does just fire and someone that does just ice. And Azana does a little bit of thunder and a little bit of wind. But I think it would have been really cool to have someone that is just wind magic. I remember very early on in the game, I was very excited about the prospect of getting someone that did wind magic. Like changing the direction that they faced and like pushing them back and things like that. But it just never we just never got one. It's a little disappointing.
Maybe I was never destined to be a great mage after all.
Ow! It hurts!
Oh no, the poor child's fallen.
Hey there, are you hurt?
Ow! It hurts so bad I can't even stand!
Not to worry. I'll fix you right up. So dry those tears.
Really?
Yup. The pain will disappear like magic. You'll see.
Like magic, you get it?
Wow! It doesn't hurt anymore. Thank you, sir. Grandma, look! My leg's all better now!
Well, I'll be. Thank you so much for healing my grandson.
You don't need to thank me. This is nothing.
Nothing for the great magic of Grandante. I'm sure it'll say something like that.
Those robes. You wouldn't happen to be a student of the Archmage
someone knows
Grandante,
his name.
would you?
You know my grandfather?
Oh, of course I do. What a great man he was, always using his magic to help those in need, much like you. I was just one of many whose lives he saved. Why, that was over 30
Flashback,
years ago.
please. It's not gonna
I
happen.
lost my house to the fires of war and nearly my life along with it. But he quenched the flames with his spellcraft and healed my burns. Had it not been for the Archmage Grandante, I would not be here today. I am forever in his debt.
Even though Grandfather's name was erased from Hyzant's records, his memory lives on in the people he helped.
It sounds like he was a truly amazing man indeed. And I know he would be proud of you for following in his footsteps.
Do you really think so?
I do. And I have no doubt that one day you will restore the glory to your grandfather's name. No matter what the Ministry does to erase his existence, his spirit lives on through you.
Right. But I must keep practicing, that I might help even more people with my spells. Just watch me, Grandfather. I'll restore the honor of your name if it's the last thing I do.
I kind of want to see Grandante. I mean, he probably just wears the same robes, because those are his grandfather's robes that Narva's wearing. Alright, Piccoletta. Piccoletta tries to bring joy to the children who have lost their will to smile during the war. This is going to be a heartfelt one. I think this might be only her first story mission, though, or character story.
Oh, however will we carry on?
Where's our house, Mama? Did the fire eat it?
They're just like me.
Piccoletta.
They lost everything. They're sad and hurting and don't know what to do. Sitting there all alone, I thought I'd never smile again. But that's when you and the others found me. You told me I threw my ball so well. Hearing that made me so happy. I felt warm inside again. I realized I wasn't alone in the world. And now it's my turn to do the same.
Wow! Look, Mama! She's amazing!
What are you doing, miss?
I'm juggling! Do you like it?
It's incredible! I wish I could do that too!
Me too!
Well then, why don't I teach you?
Piccoletta is just like a troop leader. She brought joy to those children. She turned her sadness into a smile to cheer up others. That child can be a ray of light, warming the hearts of those bereft of hope.
Come one, come all! Behold, Piccoletta's Circus! The greatest show in all the land!
Oh, that's pretty cute. Piccoletta's pretty terrible in combat, though. I don't know if we're gonna get her second story. I think that might have been her second story. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to like rewatch older streams to see kind of where everyone is. All right, Medina. Mia goes to assist some nurses in dire need of aid, where another critical choice is laid before her.
Thank you for journeying all this way to assist us, Medina. I fear the healers in this region are otherwise occupied today. You have my apologies.
No need to apologize. You may call on me whenever you're in need.
I have 2 wounded here. One of our own, and an S. Frosty.
The cause of all our strife in the flesh. Treating the enemy first! Have you lost your mind?
His wound is far more grievous. We must tend to him or he will die.
What fealty have we to those who robbed us of our king? Who would drive us to ruin?
We may have no fealty to his nation, but we have a duty to him, as a man whose life depends on us. Leave your talk of allies and enemies on the battlefield. It has no purchase in a place of medicine. So long as I practice the healing arts, it is my duty to save them both.
And that's the thing she couldn't do in Hyzant.
They should be able to get some rest now.
That was incredible, Medina. I am sorry for what I said earlier. I was not myself.
All is forgiven. At one time, I would not have challenged you.
Would that I had your courage.
You can. Simply keep your desire to help those in need first and foremost in your mind. The rest is sure to follow.
That was a short one. Alright, we actually finished all the character stories. Now let's see the updated text from all that. Alright, so we gotta get Piccoletta. Some little boy even smaller than me said I was incredible. Finally made up my mind. My new circus is going to be called Piccoletta's Circus, and I'm going to be the ringmaster. The other day, I taught some children how to juggle. We had so much fun, my cheeks hurt from smiling. Precious. We gotta get Medina. The wounded continue to pour in. I wish to save as many of them as I can. I've managed to heal a soldier from the duchy who'd suffered grievous wounds. Once he is fully recovered, I'll leave his fate in your hands, my lord. I should rather like to write a book about my experiences once the war is over. Perhaps my tale will inspire a future healer. Flanagan. I trust you've noticed some called me the People's Shield. I confess I rather like it. I have someone waiting for me at the end of this war. I shall not fall until we are reunited. Oh, who's waiting for you at the end of the war? Wife? Daughter? Son? I feel I can be distracting at times, I must confess, which of course is unacceptable on the battlefield. I'm thinking of opening up a school of magic once this war is over. I want everyone to be able to use my grandfather's spells. That'll be a good one. I met someone who knew my grandfather's name. She said he saved her life. I'm so happy I could cry. There are more important things than one's name and accomplishments. I feel that's what my grandfather was trying to teach me now. Am I missing anyone? I need to talk to Julio. There he is. Thank you, my lord, for forgiving my indiscretion. No one has ever given me the confidence I need to do what I believe is right. We're still a long way from achieving peace, but if I ever have a bit of free time, I should like to spend the day fishing. Wars want to change people and places beyond recognition. We must be careful not to lose sight of what we believe is to be right. I can't believe we never got like a... what's it called? We never got Trish to do the thing. Like, if we sort by times deployed, Trish is up there. Like, I guess Grom was at 20, I suppose. But Quahog's only at 17. Trish is at 23. But technically, you actually don't get Trish until chapter 15. Or at the end of chapter 15. So it kind of makes sense for her to not be given a story element after chapter 15. We probably have to wait until like chapter 16, 17, 18 or something like that before those go through. Who else am I expecting to get? Let's see. So Azana's story is resolved. I need to get Decimal story resolved. We also don't have anything from Rudolph. And obviously we haven't got anything from Maxwell. We literally just got him. And Giovanna. I don't think we've gotten... have we... I think we have gotten a story from Frederica. Basically, Gila taught her to cook, but like, is that enough? Is that... are we supposed to get 2 of those? Maxwell had... or not Maxwell. Roland had his second story recently at 30. So I think maybe if we get to 25, then maybe we'll be able to get Frederica's next story. Also, somehow Hasabara has more missions than Frederica. And I never got a second story with Gila, or maybe I got it a long time ago, I just don't remember it. Because Gila was speaking with Huette about how tired, or how like much effort it was to raise Frederica, or to teach her, and how she was given this opportunity by Svarog, I think. So maybe everyone's supposed to have 2. It does kind of mesh well, because like Anna had her first one where we learned that she was looking for her parents, and her second one where she found her parents. I was somewhat wondering whether like the main characters got 3 and then the side characters got 2, but it kind of seems like everyone gets 2. Look, let's see. Oh wow, you're up at number 3 on number of points, passing Cheesy Steve. He's gonna have to go back to gambling for all that now. You won how many points? 20,000 points? So I guess the limit is 10,000 on the gamble then. Oh, you won a lot in a row actually. It looks like. Alright, what are we gonna do now? It's like past midnight and it's been 2 hours, but we actually haven't like done anything. Except like look at the opening cutscene. So let's update this to chapter 15 part 1, and then let's at least make our vote before we end the stream. Alright. Frederica hears the voices of the people as she walks through the city streets.
There are more who accepted Esfrost's rule than I imagined.
Glenbrook's history is long. Yet, that is why hierarchy and precedent hold sway. This is a stubborn land, my lady, not given to easy change.
You actually bumped yourself down to spot number 4, by the way, Demon, with that last gamble.
Though Archduke Gustadolf, acting in the name of freedom, granted privilege after privilege to the powerful. For people used to Glenbrook's rigid customs, I suppose that sort of change must have been too seductive to resist.
Perhaps, but his freedom was naught but greed and cruelty.
Lady Frederica, I've been searching everywhere for you.
A Wolfort messenger! Did you run all this way? What's happened?
My lady, I hail from Castle Wolfort, bearing tidings of Lord Simo.
Has he awakened?
He has. He is in high spirits and recovering well. And he is most pleased to hear of the capital's recapture. He bids you visit Castle Wolfort so he can honor you himself.
Oh, I must bring these glad tidings to Serenoa at once. How long it has been since I've seen him smile.
There is one more bit of news I have for you, my lady, but it is not so happy.
Is there some sort of trouble in the Wolfort domain?
Bandits are laying waste to the Rosellan village. To our shame, Castle Wolfort does not have enough soldiers to stop this. We would beg Lord Serenoa's wisdom in this matter.
So, on this story arc, the Rosellans are actually currently at the source. So, like, what are they laying waste to? I'm so curious. I might even, like, make 2 save files just to, like, do the 2 different branches of that. Because, like, I want to see, because Jerome's not there to protect the village. So, like, what's going to happen when we get there? Also, when Travis and Trish were there on the last playthrough, Travis didn't want to like stir the pot because like there are too many people there. He didn't want to like cause anyone to be hurt by it, and Trish was all like, oh, you know, we'll go for it. But like if we go on this time, there's not going to be any villagers there. So like, is Travis going to be okay with plundering the village then? So this will be interesting to think about.
The enemy must be powerful indeed. We cannot leave the Rosellan village defenseless.
Let us inform the others. Messenger, with us.
Well, well. Things are about to get interesting.
So that was one half of the stories, and then here's the other half. Whiteholm Castle. Roland takes steps to rebuild the Crown City, but Patriot and the Royalists have other ideas. Hey there, Sage. Welcome.
The coronation ceremony. Certainly there are more important matters to focus on right now.
A coronation is important to assuage the people's fears and restore their faith, besides which it is the Royalists' most fervent wish. A kingdom is only truly as strong as people believe it to be. And right now the world believes Glenbrook weak. The ceremony will be a display to the contrary.
Is this truly the remedy our situation calls for? Right now, I imagine the people care only for where their next hot meal will come from.
Rest assured, sire, House Wolford will see your subjects shan't go hungry. But trust me when I say nothing will hasten Glenbrook's return to her former glory so much as announcing the return of Regna's rightful heir. To win your subjects' hearts, you need do nothing but ascend to your position upon the throne.
You mean sit my royal backside on a fancy chair?
In a manner of speaking. A king's duty is first and foremost serving as his kingdom's symbol. You needn't trouble yourself with day-to-day governance. We will assume that burden. After all, you have only just been crowned.
There will be no ceremony. The people will tell us what they need, and you will listen to them, Patriot. That is my command.
As you wish, King Roland.
How fare things, Suette? Have the relief supplies been given to those who need it?
Well, we had received a sizable shipment of goods from Hyzant, but there are complaints. It seems very few of those goods have made it into the hands of the people.
And why is that?
We aren't certain, though apparently Patriot and the Royalists involve themselves with the distribution.
Damn those Royalists! They cannot be left to their own devices.
With Glenbrook reclaimed and Esfrost dealt a heavy blow, Hyzant takes this opportunity to make a strategic move.
House Wolfort and Minister Exham's forces have reclaimed the Crown City. And not only that, they have dealt a heavy blow to the Esfrosti forces in killing Thalos and other commanding officers.
We couldn't have hoped for a better outcome.
Oh, to see Gustadolf's face when he hears the news. Now he'll have no choice but to come crawling to us on hands and knees, begging for salt. Though, this could be our chance to crush the duchy once and for all.
Just because they are licking their wounds does not make them easy prey. They still have their iron, after all.
Ha! Iron. We can get iron. All we need do is make Glenbrook hand over the Grand Norzellian mines to us. A paltry price to pay for our bountiful aid in their restoration of the Crown City.
The Grand Norzellian mines. The spark that lit the flame of Esfrost's aggression. But why go through the trouble to seize an iron source when they have all the iron they could ever need? I should have Milo look into the matter.
Minister Idor?
Well, regardless, we control the salt. I say we bide our time until Esfrost admits they are defeated. Besides, Glenbrook seeks our aid in their reconstruction efforts, do they not?
Yes. King Roland and Minister Serenoa have both asked for help, and sent reports detailing the extent of the damage to the Crown City.
Send forth a veritable bounty. To Minister Serenoa of the Saintly Seven, that is.
Ah, yes. A show of the goddess's grace to the people, and as a wedge to drive between him and the king.
Esfrost, Glenbrook, they will both be ours before long.
Hate to say it, but Idor is correct. Esfrost and Glenbrook. He will have both soon. Gonna take a couple of weeks, honestly, but it's gonna happen. Why does Sereno only have one of the luck rings? It's kind of weird. Is the luck ring worse than oh, it is actually. This is 70 luck, that's crazy. Wait, I think he's capped, right? He went from 69 to 70. No, okay. His base luck is actually 67. This is up by 3. Why does Hasabara have the golden pinky ring? I should go to someone like Corinton or something. I was probably using it for mental moth battles and just like forgot to swap it back. I hate this playthrough. Why do you have to be evil?
Thank you all for helping to determine the extent of the damage to the capital. This information will be invaluable as we proceed with reconstruction.
You gotta be evil at some point. If you're gonna have a series of playthroughs in which you'll explore every single combination of things, then you gotta eventually make all the evil choices. You may as well make all of them evil at the same time.
There is also happy word from Castle Wolford. My Lord Father is awake. They say he is recovering apace and is already up and walking.
Those are glad tidings indeed.
He says he would like to see us and hear of all that has passed while he was taken ill.
Then what are we waiting for? I'll saddle the horses.
Would that we could depart at once, but the messenger brought another piece of news.
Bandits plague the outskirts of the Rosellan village.
Ain't anyone living in that village anymore, so why bother with it? Think they're looking to make themselves a cozy lair?
See, Eridor's saying
Whatever they want, they cannot be allowed to do as they please. We must protect the village so the Roselle have a home to return to.
That's fair, I guess.
Apologies for my tardiness. It's sudden, I know, but I must ask you a favor.
What is it?
I suspect Patriot and his royalists of filching relief supplies.
We've no proof it's them, but the fact remains. The people in most need of those goods are not receiving them.
The matter warrants investigating at the very least, and I would ask for Wolfort's assistance.
I see. Well, we were just discussing what we ought to do next. Allow me to explain the 3 courses of action before us. 1. Return to Castle Wolfort as my Lord Father requests. 2. Defend the Rosellan village from bandits. Or 3. Remain in the capital to investigate the royalists.
Lord Simon has recovered. What splendid news. If I could only go to him myself and thank him for all House Wolfort has done. But I cannot leave the capital in the throes of a possible scandal. Too many hold the royal family in contempt as it is.
That may be the case, but now that Lord Simon has awoken, someone must make sure he is healthy and apprise him of recent events. I would go to Castle Wolfort, Lord Serenoa, if it pleases you.
My heart breaks for the Rosellan village. Let me go to its defense, even if I must go alone.
I cannot allow that. It's far too dangerous a task for one person.
Well, I would have the Wolfort soldiers with me, of course. Besides, do you recall our first meeting?
Of course I do. You were being assailed by rogues at the port.
If you hadn't been there, who knows what would have become of me. But I am not as weak now as I was then. I am stronger, enough that I shall bring no dishonor to House Wolfort's name. My lord, have faith in me. Let me do this.
Very well.
It seems best that Benedict, Frederica, and I each attend to these pressing matters, separately.
Indeed, but the rest of us cannot be in 3 places at once. We can
Obviously,
only choose
we'd
one
split
path
up
to take.
if this were not a video game, but
Bring the scales of conviction.
like there are 8 of us in total, and 3 things that need attention. Can I help with field rescues? We're currently in the Crown City. We've already begun restoration efforts. There should be no question as to what needs to be done here. And yet, something has me unsettled. Like, what would it actually go? So I'd imagine that Benedict, Serenoa, and Anna would go to Castle Wolfort. And then the rest is... And Eridor would go with the Roselle, because, you know, he's a shield, you gotta protect the Roselle. And then, you know, the rest is as it's currently being voted for. If we were to truly split up. I think that I'll probably end the stream here, because I kind of want to make 2 save files. One where I go to the now empty Rosellan village and protect it against the bandits. And another doing, because like, it's so weird to have that. Like, why is it so important that we protect the village? And then I want to do another save file where I'm going to do what I planned on doing, which is going to Castle Wolfort and talking to Lord Simone. And the reason why I want to do that on the evil playthrough is because it seems like the least important thing, like, given the fact that there's a possible scandalous uprising or discontent among the royalists within our nation, and the fact that the Roselle's village is being upended, you would think that, you know, seeing your father would be the least important thing to do there. Now, we happen to know, based on the fact that we've already played through the game, that Simone dies for some reason when we don't go visit him. And also, one interesting thing to note is that we don't yet know about the existence of salt outside of the source on this playthrough. And I wonder if we would find that out if we were to go to the Rosellan village on this playthrough. We're not going to do it on this playthrough anyway. But maybe, like, if we get Travis as a character that we can actually put in our party by doing the Roselle village, then maybe we'll still do the Roselle. We'll just protect the Roselle twice in a row. Maybe? I don't know. And then... yeah, I don't know. Like, it's very up in the air for me. But one thing's for sure, there are no shinies here. I'm looking for them. It looks like we were thorough the first time around, and there's nothing to get. We got a lot of decisions, And as I expected, even 4 playthroughs won't be enough to do all the things that you want, all the different permutations in this game, which is crazy. Like, the game's a long game, but there's still so much story to be found. Like, how does burning down all the houses affect what we do in Wolford, for example? What are some other things we gotta do here? We've got to succeed in proving Sorceley's guilt instead of failing like we did the last time. We have to not reveal Roland's identity to Svarog, and then see what that does. Maybe we had to fight Svarog instead of fighting Constable Sicris. I don't know. And then, like, so there's so much dialogue that changes between giving up Roland and keeping Roland. Yeah, and then, so, like, these are fine. Like, these are just, like, you know, 4 playthroughs, right? Actually reject Telior's request to join forces, because it's just a trap anyway. And actually side with Avlora against Sorceley, and, or against Sorceley. And then whether you have to actually choose to smuggle salt or not multiple times. And then you gotta give up, actually you don't actually have to give up the Roselle multiple times, but giving up the Roselle gives you this extra weirdness with the village. Because now the village isn't actually, like, this looks interesting, right? Like, see how there's this, usually you have just one separation, right? But when there's actually a split, you see something like this, right? So that tells me that there could have been something different about chapter 15 here. It's like, why is it branching off like this? But maybe it's branching off like that because... no, there are no endpoints like that. There's no other example of that where, like, it's not a branching path, because it would just have a straight arrow like this on chapter 7 going into chapter 8. So I guess I had to, like, make a decision on whether I want to, like, bandits, none of the entrenched crew, reveal a recent stint, blah 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 blah, within written the true thing. So none of this mentions the fact that the Roselle are currently there. But yeah, so, like, what I'm saying is there's this branch, right? Like, there's this thing, right? That splits off in multiple ways. But then there's this thing as well. Why wasn't this just a single arrow that goes from this diamond straight to 15 part 2? There's something about this here that means that you need to go on to chapter 15 multiple times, basically. Hey there, Aunt Lazaro. And I remember being confused about that the first time I played through the game, but it's making more sense now. So, like, there are a lot of different things that we can do in chapter 15, probably. But maybe it's just 4 different things. I think it's probably just 4. It's different paths here. The Roselle exists, the Roselle are at the source, and then just 2 regular Simone or Patriot things. Oh yeah, we're gonna give in the Roselle multiple times. It's going to happen. So that means that maybe on this playthrough, we should go to the Roselle village and protect the empty village. That seems even more useless than seeing our father. Like, we've got our father who just recently got off of his deathbed, and the royalists uprising in the capital. But instead of all that, we're going to go to an empty town and stop some bandits from, like, poking around in it. That's my justification for why Evil Stormy still wants to do this, but I definitely was going into this thinking that for sure we were going to go to Lord Simon's castle. But I'll probably end up still making 2 save files here for the branching branch, because I think it'll be interesting. I don't know whether I'll stream both of them though. But also, like, what happens if... So there seems to be 2 different ways to do Chapter 15 Part 2 if you go protect the Roselle village. What if there are 2 ways for the other 2 as well? That would mean that we'd have to do 6 playthroughs in order to see everything. Not gonna lie, if I end up having to do 6 playthroughs, most of them are not gonna be on hard mode at that point. Like, we'll do 3 of these playthroughs on hard mode, and then if we're going to just like get to see some new cutscenes, we're going to speed run through like all these things that we've already seen before, like skip all the cutscenes and whatnot just to get to this new thing at the end of all of this. And I don't know if we probably won't do it on easy mode because that'd probably be too easy. But like at least on normal mode, because it'll be like super easy. I've been thinking about this next playthrough being kind of a speed run because a lot of this we've already done. Like, we don't need to, there are no new things. Like, we've gotten all the items and done all the dialogue for all the things between chapters 1 and 8, part 2. So that's like a lot of stuff that we don't really need to look at. And so I'm looking into, well, I'm not really looking into it, but I'm thinking about how you would speedrun this game, or how I would stream a speedrun of this game. And I'm thinking that I would probably try to just do minimum number of turns. Although if I were to speedrun it, it would probably be going on very easy. But I think that I would want to do some sort of like minimal turns type of session. Like, I'm thinking of, for example, one in particular, Encroaching Darkness on Chapter 5, where you need to get Roland to a particular square. I was thinking about like, well, what would happen if I were to use Quahog to teleport Roland, and then I would use Lightwave to teleport Roland even further, and then I would use Rush to make Roland basically get there in one turn. And I think that would be a pretty interesting thing to do, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to hit the level caps in this playthrough, so there's not really a need to like kill anything really, except to get loot in order to buy more stuffs in order to get the final upgrades. But I think as far as story is concerned, I could just like, you know, minimal turns everything. Easy mode Medina only. That would be pretty funny. Medina Redemption Arc. I was also thinking about another playthrough where I only use the main characters, like the actual main characters, like Huette, Anna, Benedict, Frederica, Gila, and whatnot. I might save that for one of the later playthroughs, just because I want to eventually have everyone actually useful. Like right now I have, you know, Piccoletta and Lionel. They're pretty useless because like the battles are calling for like level 50 characters. I'll run with only the viewers' picks. That'd also be a good one. Like, hey, we're doing this battle. what character should we use. Each viewer gets to choose just one. And the fact that I only have 3 regulars means that I get to just go into every battle with only 3 or 4 characters. Would be hilarious. But yeah, I do want to have like every character at the level cap eventually, and I do want to eventually have everyone have all of their abilities, which is going to take some time, but we're going to be playing through this game a lot, so it won't take, you know, that long. Once we're done with like this playthrough, like I said before, you know, we don't even need to make an actual meaningful decision until chapter 8. And at this point, we've been so thorough checking everywhere. Like, I know that there are no items anywhere in any of these places that we've gone to. So we'd only need to actually stop for like chapter 8 part 2 twice. And then chapter 10 twice. And then chapter 13 would be another new one. And then chapter 15 at least one more time, but probably 2 more times. And then obviously chapter 17 after that. I would turn the difficulty back up to very hard or hard mode at that point to do the final 3 chapters. And once you get to chapter 17, so yeah, that's kind of my thoughts for the future of me streaming this game. I could probably get all the way from chapter 1 to like 5 at least in one playthrough. Especially if it were on easy mode, but maybe not if it were on easy mode with only Medina. Because you'd be skipping so much dialogue. You just skip everything and then you just go straight into battle. On very easy, everything dies on one hit. So yeah, lots of thoughts on all this. There are probably notes and information that I need to read through as well. We'll do that next time. We'll put these 2 save points here. I think that we're going to go into the Roselle village at this point. I'm pretty sure that's going to be what we do. But I will leave that decision for future Stormy. We're going to play this again on Wednesday, I believe, unless I have to work, so we'll see. And then we'll do another stream probably Sunday, so like twice a week. Keep that going for a while. But if you enjoyed today's stream, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe. I will be heading to bed now. I got work in like 7 hours, so thanks for watching as always. Take care, and goodbye.